Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame and put your name to shame, cover up your face. You can't run the race, the pace is too fast, it just won't last. Forfeit the game before somebody else takes you out of the frame. Put your name to shame, cover up your face. You can't run the race, the pace is too fast, it just won't last.
On behalf of the Quarterback Club, we'd like to thank everybody that is here this afternoon at our annual football banquet. I'd like everybody to stand for the presentation of colors pamphlet given by the UTV Army ROTC Color Guard. They are a leadership program for students that want to become Army officers once they finish their degree.
Right, left, face. Present, colors.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, colors. Right, face. Forward, march.
You may be seated. Again, thank you very much for spending a beautiful Sunday afternoon here with us at our annual 2013-14 Quarterback Club football banquet. The guest speaker for the evening has played with the Oakland Raiders, Seattle Seahawks, Detroit Lions, Minnesota Vikings, many other NFL teams. He was born in Bar, Texas. He grew up in Harlingen, Texas, and now resides in San Benito with his family, wife Christina, children Alec, Noel, and Mia. If you can please help me welcome Leo Araguz.
Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to thank David Castillo and his wife for inviting me to come out and speak to you guys. Like the lady was saying, I am homegrown. I was born in the Valley, raised in the Valley, and graduated out of the Valley. I was blessed to be able to go out and do pretty much what people say out in the world and play for a living. I did my job with my foot. I punted in the NFL. So when people tell me, what did it take for you to get into the NFL? Well, a lot of people don't see behind, I guess, closed doors what we have to go through to pretty much go out there and be successful. Especially with you guys going out right now. Seniors, can you go ahead and please stand? Graduating seniors. Guys, now it's your turn. We're up here celebrating this banquet for pretty much our seniors that are going out, and the guys that put out pretty much all the sports that they play and come out and help out. But at the end of the day, it's about you guys. It's our turn to pass the torch to you. You guys are going to be carrying this torch now. So now you have to go out there and become the best person you can become. And whatever you decide to do, it might not be football, it might not be a doctor, whatever it is that you can go out and do, guys, take that torch and take it to the limit. Take it to the furthest part you can take it, and nobody's going to be able to stop it. That's pretty much what I did. Guys, go ahead and have a seat. When they asked me, when did you decide to play football? Well, it was kind of like an accident. Back in the 8th grade, there was a guy that came up to me, and he told me that since I thought I was tough, that I should join football. And because he told me that, it's why I decided to play football. I didn't know anything about the sport. My sport was soccer. Just so happened that this guy told me that I would pretty much be the tough guy by joining football. That's why I joined football. And I just become a kicker and a punter. I was a receiver. I was pretty much a tight end, outside linebacker. That was my thing. I never wanted to be just a kicker. But it just so happened that I broke my leg, and then it just became pretty much the only thing that I could do is kick. So then when I started kicking, I figured, hey, maybe something can go well with this. And everybody would tell me, hey, you can kick really well. You can go out there and do something with it. Well, whenever I pretty much graduated from high school, a team, a school by the name of Stephen F. Austin came up to me and asked me, hey, you can go out here and we'll pay you full ride to come play for us. And I'm like, well, what does that mean? They said, well, we're going to go ahead and give you a full scholarship to come play for our university. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I just knew that they were going to pay my school. So that was the only way I could get out. Pretty much, I was just chasing that dream that someone would tell me that I would never be able to do. So because of that is why I was able to continue. I wanted to prove that person wrong that back in 8th grade told me that if I wanted to be a tough guy, I'd come out and play football. But it just kept coming with a lot of people being negative for me. It would always come up to me and say, you'll never be able to do that. You'll never be able to do that. You'll never be able to do this. Well, because of those type of people is why I continue pursuing my dream. When they tell me, well, how about the NFL? How did you do that to, be an NFL player? Well, it was funny because a lot of people here are pretty much Dallas Cowboys fans, right? Well, because the Dallas Cowboys is why I continue trying to prove everybody wrong. My first ever tryout in the NFL was with the Dallas Cowboys back in 1992. I don't think any of y'all were really born then, huh? Kids, none of y'all? 92? When the Cowboys were actually champions, they won. Y'all remember that? No? Well, sooner or later, you will remember. But anyway, back in 92, the Dallas Cowboys was my very first tryout. I went in front of this coach and I kicked, and I thought I had kicked really well. But after the workout, he comes up to me and he says, Leo, you did okay, but don't lose your day job. Because you'll never make it in the NFL. Not the way you kick. Well, I thought I had done well. And so I kind of looked at him, I'm like, man, this guy just told me that I would never make it. Well, I put it upon myself to prove this guy wrong. It took me 3 years, guys, pretty much searching, trying to find out where I could go to become the better kicker, the better punter, to prove this guy wrong. I invested. I took whatever I could pretty much put together, cut some grass, did a little bit of construction work, just enough money to get by so I could go ahead and invest. I said, you know what, all I need is $3,000. Somehow I had to collect $3,000 so I can go to a place called Reno, Nevada. In Reno, Nevada, there's a tryout for anybody out there that believes that they can kick in the NFL. You go out there and perform in front of 200 people. That's your competition. You have 200 kickers out there for 1 or 2 jobs in the NFL. Well, I took $3,000, moved to Reno, Nevada, lived in the casino in a hotel room for about 2 months. Every day I would wake up early in the morning, go out and kick. Try to get advanced pretty much all the workout that I could get in before everybody would show up, because everybody would show up in April. So by the time everybody would show up, there'd be 200 guys out there kicking. How are you going to make yourself different? How are you going to be better than everybody else? And the only way I knew that I could be better was get there early, work hard, and try to put in all the effort that I could to make sure that I made myself just as good or even better than everybody else. When you look at me, I don't fit the profile of an NFL player. I'm competing against guys that are 6'2", 6'3", 240 pounds. This is the biggest I've ever been in my life. So when you look at me, I can look across the board and I look just like any of you. Pretty much identical to you guys. So what's stopping you guys from being this guy up here talking about your NFL career, about your dreams becoming a reality? It doesn't have to be in football. It could be whatever you guys want. Be successful. But again, you guys have to put in the work. And that's what pretty much gave me the incentive to go out there and work hard, because someone told me that I would never do it. You know what? We go out there and perform because we have our parents, we have our loved ones, we have our friends that believe in us. Yeah, we're pretty much proving them right because they believe in us. But what about the people that don't believe in you? The ones that always say that you'll never make it? The haters. That's the fun part, guys. Those are the ones that it's fun whenever you go out and you prove them wrong. You know what? You don't even have to say anything to them. And that's what happened with me. Whenever I went over to Reno, Nevada, I competed. I had to make myself different than everybody else. And the only way I could do that was pretty much out-kick everybody. So when I got out there and kicked, a team would come up to me and say, hey, we love the way you kick, but you don't look like the NFL player. And I said, what does that have to do anything with anything? You're asking me to kick, I kick, I'm the best guy, why don't you sign me? Well, you don't have any experience, sir. Well, how do you expect for me to get any experience if you don't give me a try? Well, we'll bring you in. Kind of feel sorry for me. So I signed with the Miami Dolphins. I go to the Miami Dolphins, I'm there for 1 week, I get cut. So what do? Come back to the Valley, come back to Harlingen, and start all over again. Collect another $3,000 and go right back to the casino in Reno, Nevada. Try again. Do the same thing over and over. That same guy that told me that I never would be able to play in the NFL, that's the same guy that I had in the back of my head every time. I got to prove this guy wrong. I got to prove this guy wrong. So then I go back to Reno. I got signed by the San Diego Chargers this time. The same thing happens again. I get cut. So then I go back again. This is again, going in the third year. Collect another $3,000. Go back to Reno. And here we go again. Fine, we'll do it. Well, this time, instead of going to an NFL team, I ended up getting signed by the NFL Europe. A Valley guy going to the NFL Europe in Germany. I mean, that's a major culture shock. Major. So then I went from being in Harlingen, flying to New York, from New York to Germany. So then all of a sudden I'm in Germany, because this one guy told me that I'll never make it. What the heck am I doing in Germany? Well, if that's the road to become the NFL player, then that's the road I will take. No matter how cold it was, no matter how far I was away from home, I had to prove this guy wrong. So when I got back from the NFL Europe, I became known as an all-world punter. So I was the best punter in the world. We'll come back to find out that nobody in the NFL wanted me. I went in and tried out for the Carolina Panthers, had the best tryout ever. The guys tell me, in 2 weeks we're signing you. Give us 2 weeks to make roster moves. Okay, 2 weeks go around, nothing. A month goes by, nothing. 2, 3 months go by, here comes December. Well, in December, the season's pretty much already over. Well, there's only like 3 or 4 games left. I said, forget it. There's no way I'm ever going to make it in the NFL. I'm going to retire. Well, I'm stepping out of my house, and all of a sudden the phone keeps ringing. And ringing and ringing, and I was in the mood to pick up the phone. Back then, guys, we didn't have any cell phones. So it was one of those that you pick up from the actual table. So the phone kept ringing, and I'm like, man, that phone just keeps ringing, and I didn't want to answer it. So then I was going to my grandma's house, and as I was walking, I closed the door, and the door wouldn't lock. And the phone kept ringing and ringing, right? I'm like, what the heck's going on? And I guess we didn't have an answering machine because it rang like 10 times. So I went back with it, fine. I got to get the door locked. I went back, I said, no, let me see what's going on. I picked up the phone. It happens to be the Oakland Raiders. So I pick it up, I'm like, hello? He says, you know, Mr. Aragoose, because I'm not Aragoose, I'm Aragoose when I leave the valley. So Mr. Aragoose, this is the Oakland Raiders, Coach Tillman, and we're looking to bring you in for a tryout. And I thought it was my buddy. You know, so I'm like, and the funny part is, you know what I thought it was? Coach Whalen back there. Mike Whalen. And I thought it was him messing with me, so I just hung up the phone. And I stepped out. And the phone kept ringing again, right? So I'm like, what the heck's going on? I'm okay, so I answered the phone again. What's going on? He said, sir, this is the Oakland Raiders. We're bringing you in tomorrow for a tryout. Okay. In December, the game's already going on, the season's going on, the Raiders have a chance of going to the playoffs. So I said, you know what, okay, fine, you know, we'll see whether this is the real deal. Well, they said, tomorrow you're flying out early in the morning. So then I said, okay, fine, we'll see what happens. Well, in the morning, there's a ticket for me there, saying, sir, you know, you got to get to the airport, fine. All I packed was a t-shirt and some underwear. That's it. Because I knew that, hey, this can't be true. So I just packed one underwear and one t-shirt. Get in a flight, go up there, and it happens to be that there's 5 punters for one spot. The Oakland Raiders punter got hurt. So then when I'm there looking at these guys, okay, I'm competing against these 4 other guys, you know, again, how am I going to separate myself to be able to get this job? Well, then we go out there and kick. At this point in time, I had the worst tryout ever. Ever. I knew it. I said, there's no way this team's going to sign me. I know what a good kick is, and I know what a bad kick is, so I said, there's no way this team's going to sign me. So we go back after a workout back into this one office, and we're there, all of us, all 5 of us. And the guy that walks in is Mr. Al Davis, which was the owner of the Oakland Raiders. He walks in and he points at me and he said, "Sir, you're the best punter we've seen in a long time." So I'm like, what the heck is wrong with the NFL? I have the worst workout ever, and yet they think I'm the best punter they've seen in a long time. But then all of a sudden you sit there, and then decide to go with another guy. So I'm like, you just told me that I'm the best guy you've seen, but yet you don't sign me because I don't have any experience. Well then, I had to swallow that pill. Came home, 2 days later they called me back. They said, "Mr. Arruz, or Mr. Arruz, you're coming back to the Raiders." Well, what happened to the guy you signed? Well, the guy got hurt. Okay? So this is on Thursday. NFL games are usually Sundays and Mondays. Well, the Oakland Raiders happen to have that game on Monday Night Football. So I was a substitute teacher here at Oakland Middle School in Harlingen for that week. From going as a substitute teacher to being on Monday Night Football within the same week. I mean, it's pretty much a rude awakening, but also a dream come true. How else better could I show myself to the world? Monday Night Football. Who's watching Monday Night Football? Everybody. Everybody's watching Monday Night Football. So, awesome. Perfect. The best way to go out and showcase what I can do to the world is Monday Night Football. So guys out there that play football here, you understand for a kicker, we hate windy weather, we hate cold weather, and we hate rainy weather. The 3 elements that really have an effect on our football when we kick them are those 3 things: rain, cold, and wind. So what happens on Monday Night Football? The first Monday that I'm ever going to play. It's cold, it's windy, and it's raining. Perfect. How better way to really put more obstacles in my challenge, in my career that I have chased for so long when people keep telling me that you can't make it? Well, bring it on. Whatever it is that you want to bring on to me, I got to prove this one guy wrong. So Monday Night Football comes around, and sure, I mean, a lot of these guys, I mean, you watch those movies where you see these guys that there's a bomb that explodes and then all of a sudden they don't hear anything, it's all real quiet, everything gets real slow motion, and it just goes into this one little just focused, like, tunnel vision. Well, that's exactly what happens, guys. When you go out and perform in front of 80,000 people and millions of people watching you, you have to go to tunnel vision. You've done everything over and over and over, and I've practiced and I've trained and I was ready for this. So when you go into that tunnel vision, it's because you know what you've done. You put in the work. You put in the effort. Everything just happens. Muscle memory. And that's pretty much what happened to me. I went out there. I could have get caught up in the 80,000 people that were there. Yeah, 80,000 people, guys. You walk out and they call it the black hole in Oakland. You walk out and everybody's wearing black. And it's a circle, and so like, oh my God. Well, right there and then, you got to realize, wait a minute, I'm here for a reason. Well, when the team was playing, and we as kickers don't really play, we just kick. So when the team was playing, every time the third down came around, they would always yell out, "Punt team, get ready." I was scared. I was wishing that the team would always get a first down because I wasn't ready. You know, I was like, oh my God, this is really going to be my thing. You know, I don't want to kick it. It's raining, it's cold, and it's windy. Punt team, get ready. I'm like, oh my God. Here we go, you know. So then first down, oh, we're out. Good job, Dolphins, good job. Keep moving, keep moving. Well, sure enough, we had to punt. So I go out there. Here we are, 50, I guess, millions of people just watching us. At that moment, as a punter, we're 15 yards away from anything. The deep snap is 15 yards away. So when the camera focuses on you, who are they focusing on? One guy. Me. And this is a new guy that just got signed 2 days ago, blah, blah, blah. And there's a little Mexican there. Me. So, and again, guys, it takes some time to get with a snapper and practice and all that. Well, I didn't get a chance to practice with a team that week because I came in so late. Well, the way I set up, it takes me a little while to set up. I got to get my foot down, make sure my plant foot is down, make sure that my hands are dry, and then I'm ready. Well, the guy didn't know that I did all that. So when I'm trying to prepare myself, going through my little routine, the guy snaps the ball. So here comes the ball, midway through my preparation, I look up and here comes his ball. And so right there and then everything goes into slow motion. 1001, 1000, the ball goes. When we kick, it takes 1.8 seconds. From the time it's snapped, by the time we catch it, by the time we turn the laces, by the time we punt it, 1.8 seconds. That's how fast it happens. If you're 1.9 or 2 seconds, it's blocked. So anything under 1.8 is perfect. It seemed like it was like 30 seconds. All of that ball coming at me. By the time I caught it, by the time I turned the laces, by the time I punted it, by the time I saw it fly out, it felt like 30 seconds. But really, in reality, it was only 2 seconds. So as soon as the ball got snapped, I see the ball going, okay, the ball's gone, okay. So then I started running down the field, I'm like, oh my God, what's going on, what's going on? So then I said, okay, we gotta tackle this guy. So as he's getting running around, trying to escape and all that stuff, the guys finally tackle him down. I come back to the sidelines, I'm literally hyperventilating. And so then I stopped there for a moment, I'm like, that's it? All this for just this one play. And it just happened like that. The same thing y'all do in high school, the same thing we did in college, the same thing we did in the pros. The same plays, we played a 100-yard field, the same thing over and over, and I'm like, I've been here before. The only difference is the 80,000 people that are there watching, and millions of people watching. And of course, the paycheck. Other than that, football is football. So then, that was my first NFL kick. Well, then after that, we ended up playing only 3 games for that season. Well, then I ended up playing the ball well enough to keep a job. Well, it just so happened that the Raiders, back in the day, when I was playing with the Raiders and the Dallas Cowboys always had training camp together. The Raiders would fly in, stay a week here in Austin when they used to have their training camp in St. Edwards. The Raiders would come and perform pretty much a whole training camp, a week of the training camp for the Dallas Cowboys. And guess who was on the other side of it? That one guy that told me that I would never make it. So I knew it because I looked at their little like stat sheets and their roster and their coaching stuff and all that, and I wanted to see that name on it, Steve Hoffman. I will never forget his name, Steve Hoffman. And I wanted to see him, and I wanted to pretty much prove to him, see if he would remember who I was. But I had things of just everything bad to say to him. I mean, I wanted to cuss him out because me being who I am, if he fired me up, there might be some things that you don't like when I say, but at the end of the day, I want to see this guy and show him that I had made it in the NFL. So for 3 years, guys, I had really used this guy as fuel for the reason for me to continue going out there, getting cut by all these different teams, and people telling me that I suck when I would go and train here. It just fueled that everybody would give me, all that negative fuel that I would use up to make me that one person that I want to become. But my main thing was just to prove this one guy wrong. So here we are going through training camp with the Cowboys, and I'm waiting for this guy to walk out. I'm watching the whole coaching staff, all the players coming out. I saw the Emmitt Smith walk out. I saw the Troy Aikman walking out. I see Dion walking out. No, I don't care for those guys. Where's my guy? You know, well, here comes Steve Hoffman. I was like, there he is. So then somewhere along the line, I'm making my way over to him. Right? And I want to go over there so I can see him. And the very first thing that I try to get in my head, like, well, what am I going to say to him? Am I going to be cool about it? Am I going to be a better man, just shake his hand? What am I going to do? So as I'm walking up to him, I start getting real angry. I was like, you know what? This guy was the one that told me that I would never make it. I want to tell him. I get there right in front of him. The first thing he does, he reaches out, shakes my hand, and says, I'm glad you proved me wrong. I'm like, you can say anything else. But thank you. That's all I can say. And I walked out. 8 years later, played with a couple more teams, and here I am talking to you guys. Remember, guys, it's your turn. Chase it, and I dare you to prove me wrong. Go out there. Don't let anybody tell you you can't. Prove it right, please. Thank you very much, family.
Wow, what a great message, guys. What a great message. That is awesome. Leo, thank you very much. Thank you for being here today. You are without a doubt an inspiration. I don't think that the majority of the people know that you actually come up here and continue to kick and continue to work with our kids and further their knowledge in kicking and not just punting but kicking. And we thank you very much for that. Let's give another big round of applause. Okay, I'd like to get started. We got some special thanks. People that I'd like to thank. Where is Yolanda Gonzalez at? There she is right there, Yolanda Gonzalez. Without a doubt, there's not words for what I'd like to express to you. I mean, it's just, you've been so awesome. You've been spot on since the day I walked through the door. And I thank you very much. And just thank you. I love you very much. Another big round of applause for Ms. Gonzalez, please. I'd also like to recognize our team doctors. Some of them could not be here tonight. I know one of them is Dr. Valerie Drake. She's sitting right over here. She's our team dentist. Let's give her a big round of applause. She does our mouthpieces for us every year. Kathy, did any of our other team docs make it? No? Okay. Well, I'd still like to recognize them. Dr. Greg Smith is our orthopedic specialist, Dr. Duvall, Dr. White, and Dr. Lieber. They've all done an outstanding job for us throughout the year and continue to keep us on the field, so let's give them a great round of applause. I'd like to recognize Mr. Tony Warren sitting right over here. Tony is with Mr. Gaddy's, and he is a huge fan. He's a huge food. Job for force, and they continue to put out a quality product every year, pushing towards us at the high school. And you guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Give another big round of applause, please. Okay, now we're going to get into the 3 clap section portion of our program. So when I say give me a hand, everybody's going to clap 3 times. Give me a hand. Nice. Let's do it one more time. Give me a hand. Okay, I'd like to recognize our freshman football staff. Our head football coach, Michael Whalen. Give him a hand. Assistant coach, Jeremy Harris. Give him a hand. Assistant coach, Ray Burge. Give him a hand. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going too fast. Stand up. I want you to stand up. I want people to see who you are. There you go. There you go. Now, stay standing up until I finish introducing you. Thank you very much. Assistant coach, Johnny Garza. Give him a hand. Assistant coach, Gus Gonzalez. Give him a hand. And assistant coach, Eddie Gonzalez. Give him a hand. Thank you guys very much for all you do. Now let's give a big round of applause. I got about 200 seats here, boys, so hang tight, I don't want to lose any of them. Okay, moving on to our varsity coaching staff. Okay, I'm going to introduce the varsity coaches, and I'm going to introduce their wives, and we will give them 3 claps, and then at the end we'll give them a big round of applause. Defensive coordinator Dave Evans and his wife Marie, let's give them a hand. And you guys can stand up, please. There you go, now give them a hand. Offensive coordinator Mark Evans and his wife Armina, give him a hand. Special teams coordinator Haskell Buck and his wife Gloria, give him a hand. Assistant offensive line coach Graham Martinez and his wife Lonnie, give him a hand. Linebackers coach Elias Martinez and his wife Araceli, give him a hand. Offensive line coach Joel Lopez and his wife Nidia, give him a hand. Quarterbacks coach Rolando Casas and his wife Veronica, give him a hand. Receivers coach Jaime Bella and his wife. Say it out loud, dude. I can't say that. Louder. Irma-Lisa. Give her a hand. Defensive tackle Mike Ball. Defensive tackles coach Michael Ball and his wife Veronica. Give him a hand. Running backs coach Jimmy Young unfortunately could not be here today, but we're going to give him a hand anyway. Jimmy Young and his wife Denise. Give him a hand. Cornerbacks coach Crispine Lopez and his wife Linda. Give him a hand. And our defensive end coach, William Huerta, give him a hand. I'd also like to recognize our trainers, head trainer, Kathy Gilberto, give her a hand. Assistant trainer, Kevin Savannah, and his wife, Carrie, give him a hand. And our BMA trainer, John Herrera, give him a hand. Now let's give them all a great round of applause. Thank you guys for everything you do, for your hard work and dedication. Thank you guys. Okay, now I'd like for all of the freshman football players to stand up, and you're going to come right up here and you're going to stand in front of the stage. All freshman football players. And I'd also ask Coach Whalen if you will come up here, please, sir, and say a few words about your football team. Come on, guys. Should I yell fire or something to get y'all to move faster? Come right up here. All the way down. You're going to line up. You're going to face these guys. Sir, let's go ahead and say a few words about you. While these young men are coming up here, I'd like all the parents of these young men to please stand up. If you're a parent of one of these young men, please stand up. Let's give them a big round of applause.
How we all going tonight? Having a good time? Good, right? Like Coach just said, first I'd like to thank all the parents, because without the parents, these guys here, gentlemen sit down here, couldn't be who they are. You guys, support them through practices, pick them up and everything, anything, games. And without you molding them into the young men that they are, we wouldn't be able to be successful as coaches. So thank you again as parents. This year we had a good year. They worked hard for us throughout the season. Like any good team, we had our ups and downs. effort in practice every day and showing up and coming together as a team. By the end of the season, these guys really gelled and became a family, like we always preach. I'm proud of these young men for all their effort. Like I said, all the coaching staff, they've wished to express the same. And I feel as a successful coach, it's not just about making them better players, but also better men. I think these guys did that this year. So thank you again.
Stand up and come right up here in front. Do the same thing. Freshman football team, face forward, if I can have a head. JV coach, go find your bell. The only guy that will have to do the mic for. And if I can have all the JV parents, you guys can stand up and be recognized. Please just stand where you're at. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the hard work you put into you guys. Thank you very much. Coach Brett.
Thank you guys for coming here today and supporting our group. Our JV team, what can I say? They did a tremendous job for us this year. We started off the season. We lost the drop our first 2 games. But these guys did a tremendous job of jumping back into it and working hard every day. And from that point on, they were great. They came out and they performed every game. We went 7-3 overall, but we came back and went 7-1 in district, taking our JV district championship. And I can't say any more about them besides the fact that they are fighters. I cannot remember how many times we showed up to McAllen or far, and the guys were clearly bigger than us, but they didn't have the heart that our guys did. And each and every one of them played their hearts out every single day, every single game. And a lot is lost about talking to these guys, saying these guys, because they have a large duty to do for them every single day. They have to go against our varsity teams every day in practice. And they never quit. They never quit. No matter how much we ask them or how long they have to be on the scout offense or the scout defense, they want to perform because they love to play football. And it shows every day. And they earned every minute of every day that they got to be on that field. And I congratulate them. I congratulate you guys because without you as parents raising these individuals to be what they are, we couldn't have done it without you. And I appreciate each and every one of them, and I look forward to seeing them all play again next year and winning another district title. Thank you.
A big round of applause for this championship, guys. That's huge. Okay. You can't be seated. Thank you very much, guys. Okay. Get to our varsity football team, guys. When I call your name, I'm gonna talk a little bit about you. I'd like you to start right over here and just line up. We go all the way across. The next group can stand in front of them and just form lines. But I do want you to be recognized. So, starting off, top of the roster, number 1, Victor Gaitan. Victor's a junior. He's a receiver. He was honorable mention all-district this year, and he's a 2-year starter for us. Let's give him a hand. Number 2, Rolando Ruiz. He's a senior. He's a receiver. He's first year on varsity. He did an outstanding job for us. He did everything we asked him to do. Let's give him a hand. Number 3, Christian Sierra is a junior. We had a quarterback, we had a running back, we had a receiver. He ended up getting honorable mention honors at running back, actually at fullback. This was his first year on the varsity, and we got him to come over from basketball, and I think he really enjoyed it. We're excited to have him. We expect big things from him for next year, so let's give him a hand. Number 4, Isaac Osorio is a senior. He's a cornerback. This is his second year on varsity. He did a great job for us. Very proud of Isaac. Let's give him a hand. Number 5, Jonathan Allegria is a senior. He's a cornerback. He was second team all-district. In the spring, we moved him over from the offense, and he did an outstanding job for us at corner, and couldn't be more proud of this young man. Let's give him a hand. Number 7, Anthony Loyola is a senior. He's a defensive back. Played some safety for us. He's first year on varsity, spot played at safety, and he was on the majority of our special teams, and absolutely love this young man to death. Let's just give him a hand. Number 8, Josh Rainell is a senior. He's a receiver. He sat his junior year due to injuries. Got him back out there this year. outstanding job for us. He ended up getting dinged up and missing a couple games, but couldn't be more proud of what he's accomplished. Let's give him a hand. Number 9, Javier Ortiz. He's a junior. He's a receiver. He was second team all-district. He's a hard worker and he has a great attitude. Let's give him a hand. Number 10, Alex Garcia. He's a junior. He's a defensive back. He's a first-year varsity player and has done everything we've asked him to do. Let's give him a hand. Number 11, Dylan Castillo. He's a senior. He's a quarterback. He was second team all-district and he gave us everything he had. Let's give him a hand. Number 12, Omar Garcia. He's a senior. He's a linebacker. He played linebacker, defensive end, anywhere we asked him to play, right, Omar? I appreciate that a lot, son. That goes a long way. We love you to death. He played on all of our special teams. Did a great job for us. Let's give him a hand. Number 14, Gabriel Vasquez. He's a junior. He's a running back. He was the first team all-district returner, and he was an honorable mention running back, and we expect big things from him next year. Let's give him a hand. Number 15, Frank Garza. He's a senior. He's a linebacker. He moved to the defensive side in the spring from the offensive side and did everything we asked him to do and couldn't be more proud of this young man. Let's give him a hand. Number 16, Jordan Robles is a senior. He was a quarterback for us. He backed up Dylan, and I guarantee you, when it was time for his number to be called, he was ready to go. He held for us on special teams. He was our extra point holder. And I think we only had one mishandled snap the whole year, but Jordan did everything we asked him to do. We love him to death. Let's give him a hand. Number 17, Raul Atkinson. He's a junior. He's a receiver. He gave us depth at receiver. He started a few games for us and he came in and spot played in most games and did an outstanding job. Let's give him a hand. Number 18, Jonathan Guzman. He's a senior. He's a receiver. He was second team all-district. This is his second year on varsity. Definitely going to be tough to lose. John did an outstanding job for us, and we love him to death. Let's give him a hand. Number 19, Armando Medrano is a sophomore. He's a receiver. He was honorable mention all-district. He played on all the special teams. He was another one of our weapons back there at return. He's a very, very hard worker and has great hands. Let's give him a hand. Number 20, Chris Garza. Chris Garza is a senior. He's a defensive back. He came to practice every day. He had a great attitude. He did everything we asked him to do. Let's give him a hand. Number 22, Alvarado Vargas. He's a sophomore. He's a defensive back. We moved him up early on in the year because for depth purposes. He ended up, ended up playing defense for us and also special teams. Let's give him a hand. Number 23, Aaron Robles is a senior, defensive back. He did a great job for us on defense. He dealt with some injuries on and off, and I believe we ended up losing there at the end of the season. He was definitely a defensive leader and somebody we can count on. We love him to death. Let's just give him a hand. Number 24, Nate Morales is a senior. He's a defensive back. He was a second team all-district. He was a 3-year starter for us. He was basically the quarterback of the defense, and he is going to be sorely missed. Let's give him a hand. Number 25, Trey Saldana. He's a senior. He's a running back. This is his first year on the varsity. He played some special teams for us and did a good job. Let's give him a hand. Number 26, Juan Hernandez. He's a junior, defensive back. He played special teams for us and spot played on defense and did everything we asked him to do. Let's give him a hand. Number 27, Roel Rodriguez. He's a junior. He's a linebacker. He actually started a few games for us and spot played on defense, and he also played on special teams for us. Let's give him a hand. Number 28, Leo Garza. He's a sophomore. He's a linebacker. He was brought up early on in the year because of injuries. We ended up losing him to an injury. We definitely expect big things from him. Let's give him a hand. Number 31, Jason Cerna. He's a senior, defensive back. He was a corner for us. He played on special teams. And I tell you what, that guy showed up with a smile on his face every single day. We love him for that. Let's give him a hand. Number 32, Alan Pena. He's a senior. He's running back. He gave us depth at running back. And he also plays special teams for us. Let's give him a hand. Number 33, Enrique Guzman. He's a senior. He's a defensive back. He plays special teams. And he saw time at Sam linebacker for us and did a great job. Let's give him a hand. Number 34, Chris Sanchez. He's a junior, defensive back. He's a special teams player. He backed up for us at free safety also and gave us everything he had. Let's give him a hand. Number 35, Brandon Warrior, senior, linebacker. He was honorable mention all district. He's a 2-year starter. He has been a joy to coach, and he's a fun young man. So let's give him a hand. Number 38, Frank Rivas. He's a senior. He's a linebacker. He was second team all-district. He did everything we asked him to do, and was constantly giving me a hard time during practice, every day. But I love him for that. Let's give him a hand. Jose Rodriguez is a junior. He's an offensive lineman. We brought him up at times for depth purposes, and he's going to be one heck of a center. Let's give him a hand. Number 54, Robert Castillo. He's a senior. He was our center. It was his first year on the varsity, and he had a little injury bug, but we got that fixed. But he's done everything we asked him to do. Let's give him a hand. Number 56, Andrew Cortez is a senior. He's defensive tackle. He spot played for us on the D-line. He also helped us on special teams. We're very proud of this young man and how hard he's worked. Let's give him a hand. Number 64, Alexis Sellis is a senior. He's a defensive end. He's not played on defense for us, but his huge value to us was his special teams, and I believe he was on every single special teams. And he's one of those guys like Omar. Say, hey, we need somebody. And he was the first one to jump in there, and that's pretty awesome, and that's pretty hard to find, so let's give him a hand. Number 65, Luis Martinez is a senior, he's an offensive lineman. His first year on the varsity, he gave us depth at the offensive line, and we really appreciate his effort. Let's give him a hand. Number 66, Jose Garcia. He's a senior, he's an offensive lineman, first year on varsity. Again, gave us depth at offensive line, which is very valuable, and AJ did everything we asked him to do. Let's give him a hand. Number 71, Steven Rodriguez is a senior, he's an offensive lineman. He started for us on the O-line. He was very versatile. He was the guy that when we got in the bind, we moved him around from guard to center, and if need be, we could bounce him out to tackle. He did a great job for us. We love him to death. Give him a hand. Number 72, Josh Booty, senior, offensive lineman. He was honorable mention all district. He was a 2-year varsity starter for us. He was the only one coming back off last year's squad, and he definitely took on that leadership role and did everything we asked him to do. Let's give him a hand. Number 73, Lalo Winostro. He's a senior, he's an offensive lineman. He's spot played for us on the O-line. We had injuries, and he's just a great young man, and we really appreciate his efforts. Let's give him a hand. Number 75, Marco Zunga. He's a junior, offensive lineman. He started 9 games for us. He's got a ton of potential. We expect big things from him next year. Let's give him a hand. Number 76, Gilbert Sandoval. He's a junior, offensive lineman. He started 10 games for us this year. Again, tons of potential, and we expect big things from him next year. Let's give him a hand. Number 79, Joseph Partita. He's a sophomore. We had him in defensive end. We had him in offensive line. He was one of those kids with a frame like that you know, he gave you depth at different positions. We never actually used him on the varsity. We moved him up several times to give us depth specifically for our offensive line. But he did everything we asked him to do, and we appreciate that. Let's give him a hand. Number 84. Nice shirt. 84, Alejandro Lugo. He's a sophomore. He's a kicker. His first year on the varsity. Did an outstanding job for us, and even threw a 2-point conversion, which was pretty unexpected, because until that time, he didn't even know he could throw. But he did a great job for us. Let's give him a hand. Number 88, Manny Sanchez, a senior. He was a receiver. He was our punter. He ended up being the honorable mention punter for the district. He spot played for us on defense and on offense. Just a big physical guy, so we need him in a lot of different places. And Manny ended up doing a great job for us. We appreciate that. Let's give him a hand. Number 90, Brandon Gonzalez Leal. He's a junior, defensive lineman. First year on the varsity. He started several games for us, and he spot played for us all year long. He had a great attitude, showed up every day, and worked his tail off. Let's give him a hand. Number 92, Greg Hernandez is a senior, defensive tackle. He was honorable mention all district this year. He's a 3-year varsity player. Greg has done everything we've asked him to do, and he's worked hard. He's really been a leader for us, and we really appreciate it. Let's give him a hand. Number 94, Carlos Quintanilla. He's a senior. He's a defensive lineman. Carlos missed a bunch of games because of injury, and I think he even had a little bit of grade And to this day, he still needs to get in shape. But we love him to death, Carlos. Let's give him a hand. Number 95, Brandon Carsalis, the senior defensive end. He's got a great attitude. It was a pleasure to work with. He showed up every day and he worked his tail off. Let's give him a hand. Number 96, Ricky Rodriguez is a senior defensive lineman. He was first team all-district. He did a great job for us. He's a 2-year starter. He is going to be sorely missed. Let's give him a hand. Number 98, Pedro Coronado was a junior defensive end. He was first team all-district. He played special teams. Did you trip over something? That's a head down. He's actually really a good athlete, big trip. He's done everything we've asked him to do, and let me tell you something. This young man, you can expect big things from him next year. Let's give a hand. Number 99, Cowboy, Chris Padilla. He's a junior defensive end. He was honorable mention all district. He played special teams, and another young man that has got a great frame and has a great attitude and a great work ethic, and I expect to see great things from you next year. I'm proud of you, sons. Great job. Give me a hand. Let's give them all a big round of applause, please. Okay, stay there. I'm going to mess this up. Okay. Also got to recognize my student trainers. What I'm going to do is my senior trainers, my varsity trainers. Me. I don't know. Help me. Yasmin Cortinas, give her a hand. Come on up here and stand with these boys. Oh, well, there you have it. I'm going to talk to our trainers. Okay, Larissa Ariza, senior, give her a hand. Karina Rodriguez, senior, give her a hand. Julian Vasquez, senior, give a hand. These young men and young women, and before I get into that, you other student trainers, I've got some sophomores and some juniors right there. Could you stand up for our stuff already go? Just stand right there. Just stand right there until I finish talking about it. Outstanding job, young men and young ladies. Thank you so much for all you do. Thank you for the hard work, for the time, and the things that you put up with, and the things you do for us, and being out there to eat. We love you to death. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you very much. Let's give all of these young men and young women a big round of applause. Okay, we're into the awards portion. You guys may be seated. Thank you very much. While they're being seated, if we could give one more big round of applause. Spirited and most valuable player. And so we want to make sure that we hand these awards out. These are awards that are voted on by the coaches. And this is pretty special to have their name on that plaque, because that plaque will be remembered forever. It's going to hang in that hallway. And guys, I can't tell you how proud I am of all of you. I can't tell you how much I love you. Okay? So not only is this a special time for you, it's a special time for me. Okay? And I'll get to say something on closing remarks, but when it's all said and done, I'm proud of you and I love you, right? Okay. To give our first award, our defensive back award, is Coach Crispine Lopez. Let's give him a hand.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Honored guests, administration, school board, and parents. I'd say a few words. I'd like to thank the board of Banquet for such a beautiful banquet and such a beautiful conference today. It's a blessing to be up here in front of all these young men, to be a Greyhound coach. I've been coaching for 37 years, before some of you were born. But just say a few words. I came out of retirement. I've been out of football for 4 years, and I was approached by Coach Evans that he needed a cornerback coach. And I told him, give me about a minute. I wanted to see if I still had a little left in my tank to coach football. Call my wife. She says, Coach, you think you still want to do it? Took me about 5 seconds. I'm going to do it. Okay, don't regret coming back. It was a pleasant experience, wonderful experience. It was, to be back on that sideline and get your blood pressure up to 180 or 160. Okay, I'd like to thank Mr. Leo Alaguz, such a beautiful, inspiring story about his career. I'd like to say a few words. I used to coach in Edinburgh when Leo was a kicker, and there was some several disappointing moments. But that's part of the coaching career: persistence, staying focused. I'll give you a few words, a few quotes. It doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down; it's how many times you get up. Okay. Hard times don't last long. Tough people do. Okay. Before I present this award, I'd like to thank all my cornerback and defensive back kids who allowed me the opportunity to coach them. Okay. When you're a defensive back coach and a defensive back, you gotta have a tough skin because you're on an island all by yourself. And when they score on you, all eyes are on who? On the defensive back coach. Who's coaching those guys? But that comes with the territory. Being a defensive back, you gotta have mental toughness, you gotta have tough skin, you gotta have short memory. Okay, and you gotta be willing to bounce back no matter what. And that's what life is all about. Okay, this young man exhibited all those characters and those characteristics. Okay, real proud of all of y'all. Thank you. The defensive back award goes to Jonathan Alegría.
Okay, to present our linebackers award is Coach Elias Martinez. Let's give him a hand. Let's give him a hand.
Give me an applause. I'm going to be introducing the Linebacker of the Year award. The recipient for this year has been a linebacker that I've had for the past 3 years. It's been a great honor to have coached him. To have seen him mature since his sophomore year to where he's at this year. When we first got him, he was real wet behind the ears, and he's grown up a lot, and it's been fun coaching him. He's gone. This is the first year that he's been our starter, and he's gone from during spring ball. Don't call the string, just echo the call. For y'all, what I mean is, you don't call the wrong string. It's like don't call it just whatever Frank or whoever's behind you decides, whatever string he calls, you echo it. Well, he went from that to all of a sudden during the summer maturing, and he's able to make the adjustments, the correct string calls. He's made the right defensive adjustment calls. He's matured tremendously. It's been a great honor to have been able to coach him. This year's recipient the linebacker of the year is Brandon Wallace.
Great job, Brandon. What's that?
Sing a song.
There will be no singing by Coach Martinez. If you want to see him sing, I'm sure there's a little, one of those karaoke places right down the street. He's there, trust me, Sunday night. Defensive line award, Coach Michael Mull, give him a hand.
The student athlete I'm about to speak about, he serves as a lesson to me as a coach. When I talk to young kids that are in the middle schools and at the freshman academy, a lot of them will talk to me, and sometimes I'll ask them, well, what position you play? Sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm on the B team or the gold team, and they don't seem very proud about that. And I always tell them a story about an athlete I played with. His name was Maverick Masterman. And as a freshman, he was a gold team player. And he didn't start. He ended up starting varsity as a junior and senior. And out as the best free safety I've ever seen play in the Valley. He was an all-state player, and he took a team I played on to depths that we never thought we could play because of him, and he was just a great athlete. So I told him, look, you know, there's this kid named Maverick, and they love the story, and hopefully it inspires them. Well, the athlete I'm going to talk about today, I remember the first time I saw him in practice, I thought, who's the chubby kid playing quarterback? And he was on the goal team. And, well, his sophomore year going to his junior year, we have summer workouts, and without a doubt, I think he worked harder than anybody I'd seen out there. And I wanted him, I tell him, I want you to be a starter, but I'm not going to give it to you. And he worked, and he worked, and he became a starter. And all the people, all the young athletes that were better than him as a freshman, he surpassed them. I love this kid, the defense lineman of the year, Ricky Rodriguez.
The running back award, is going to be given by Coach, again, Jimmy Young. Trust me, he would not miss this. He has a family emergency, and I'm not going to give you more details about that, but he could not be here. He wanted to be here to give this award. Jimmy Young is the coach who coaches these young men, but he could not be here. The running back award will be given by Coach Mark Evans. Let's give him a hand.
The one thing that's been a staple of the offensive football production that we've had here at San Benito under Coach Gant has been we've always had a good running back. Every year we've had a running back we hang our hats on. This year was the first year where we came into it where we didn't have a returning starter that had a lot of experience. We had Christian come out, we had a couple other seniors come out, we had Gabriel was returner, but if everybody remembers last year Gabriel played, I think it was a McAllen Memorial. One sprint draw into the season, and at the end of the season, he took deep thigh bruise, and it was end of his year. So we were really unsure what we were going to have when we came into the season. We knew we wanted to still run the ball because we had to keep people honest. And having Christian and Gabriel as the two guys that we used, we had a really good set. The beautiful thing about it is they both come back for next year. When you looked at what we had, Gabriel was a great kick returner, Christian was a great kick returner. We had two guys that could do just about anything we need to with the football. This award is going to go tonight to the guy that was, would you say, the most consistent. The guy that put everything out there on a daily basis, and his t-shirt told you exactly the way he plays the game. Every one of our kids has a t-shirt that they make. His shirt said, "Watch my speed." He only plays the game one speed. If you guys can see him in his off-season right now, what he's doing to get ready for next season, he's busting his butt, and he will definitely be one of the team leaders. Both of these guys could be the team leaders for next year, for what the type of things that they can do for you. But this guy that won this award deserves it more than anything else, just because of his work ethic and what he brings to the table, and what he's going to bring to this team next year with the leadership ability he has. This award will go to Mr. Speed Demon, Gabriel Vasquez.
Okay, the Receivers Award will be given out by Coach Jaime Bella. Let's give a hand.
The young gentleman I want to talk to you about today, I've had the pleasure of coaching for the past 2 years. He did a tremendous job for us this year and last year. The one thing about this award, if you know anything about our offense, is that in this great offense you have quite a few receivers, and each and every one of them was deserving of this award. But basically what it came down to is the guy that was more consistent for us this past year. He had the job of sometimes having to block guys that were a lot bigger than him. He played inside receiver, and it is a tough duty to ask of him. You're playing against guys that might outweigh him by, 50, 60, 70, sometimes 100 pounds that he was. And it was a tough job. He was able to go out day after day. He was developing into a great blocker towards the end of the season. Very short-handed, and when he got the ball in his hands, he could make things happen. And this award we're going to present to Victor Gaetan.
The Offensive Line Award will be given by Coach Will Lopez. Let's give him a hand.
This year was the first year that I coached the offensive line. Coach Gant came to me and asked me, Coach Gant and Coach Evans, and I said yes. It was a group of young men that worked very hard. A lot of them were underrated, and we didn't have a lot of experience. So I go to the one guy that has all the experience, the only returner. I look him in the eye and I tell him, hey, I need you to be the leader. I need you to work hard. I need you to rally all these guys and to come and to be here all the time. And he looked me right in the eye and didn't say a word. Silent leader. Didn't say much. Didn't say anything. All right? But was consistently there. We had injuries to our offensive line. We moved them. Didn't say a word. Played at offensive guard, played offensive tackle on both sides, and knew exactly what to do. Impressed the heck out of me because of all the things that he did right consistently at practice and did in the games. Our offensive lineman of the year goes to Joshua Mooney.
Special Teams Award will be presented by Coach Haskell Buck. Let's give him a hand. Give him a hand.
Especially my wife, I need to thank her the most because she has to put up a lot at night. Sometimes, so I really want to thank her for being here. I'm giving out the Special Teams Award. I'm going to take a few minutes because Special Teams has multiple segments in the game of football. And first of all, I'd like to thank every one of y'all that was on our special teams. It is almost one of the most thankless things people can do. Some guys don't like it and we make you do it. Some guys love it and beg you to do it. But all the guys that did it for us, and most of the Greyhounds, I'm telling you, they like special teams. At least they did for me. Special teams to me is like the foundation of a house. It's there. People don't pay much attention to it unless there's a crack in it. They usually walk up and they go, wow, that's a beautiful home. I love your front door. You have beautiful windows. I don't say, they put a great foundation. But special teams here, our head coach, he allowed me to put a lot of time and effort into it. And to me, it is one of the foundations of the football team. It's obviously one of the 3 phases, but it's one of the major things that we do. It's a major component. It would be easy to say that any one of our returners could get this award, deep snapper, punter. They're all equally deserving. But to me, on our special teams, the thing that I really stressed and that I was looking for was solid kids. Kids that were just hard-nosed. They were tough. They were on every segment. They were a foundation of what we were trying to put in here. And I think we succeeded. They were super kids. Coach had mentioned a couple of their names earlier. They were on every phase. They would help no matter what. If they needed a scout team guy, they would jump to the other side. They were great kids. One of them is not here, but I'm going to say his name, and the other one is here, and he will accept the award, I guess, for both of them. But they are very much the foundation. this type of kid is exactly what we're looking for. They're kids that did everything we asked, and I'm rolling in a circle, and I apologize. The winner of our Special Teams Award is Alex Solis and Omar Garcia.
Okay, give our leadership award is Coach Rolly Costas. Give him a hand.
Giving this award is a great honor to begin with. And the young man that's going to receive this award tonight, I can speak, for hours about the effort he gave this year. A lot of it is to be a leader. I try to stress to him, when things are going good, you got to keep everybody even. When things are going bad, you got to be the guy holding the rope, pulling everybody up. And he kind of took that role and ran with it. Well, this young man, soft-spoken, great kid, he didn't realize that he had a voice. He is a very likable kid, a very coachable kid, and to be a leader, sometimes you got to be the bad guy. You got to hold people accountable, but you got to lead by example. On the field, in the classroom, at home, and I'll speak to the student athlete that you're everything a father would want his son to be. And I thought he took that role, and he did a great job for us this year. And stats are stats. Wins and losses are wins and losses. What are we building these kids for? We want to produce kids that can go out and can represent not only their town, but the Rio Grande Valley, and show how successful they can become. And I have no doubt that this young man's going to do that. And the leadership award goes to Dylan Castillo.
Okay, the Hustle Award will be given by Coach Banquet. Give him a hand.
Okay, the Hustle Award is normally given to one of the guys on your team that gives you something in every aspect. The individual I'm going to talk about, I'm going to give you a privy to this football season. Last year when we first saw this individual, we heard about him as a freshman football player. Said, this kid right here, they just throw him the football and he catches it. He had 20-something touchdowns as a freshman. I said, I don't believe he had 20 touchdowns, but we'll see what we see when he comes up here. Go to his first track meet, freshman level track meet, watch him run, and he just pulls away from everybody in the leg. Wow, I can't wait to work with that kid. Move him to the JV the very next week, does the same thing. Shoot! Outrunning everybody. Put him on the varsity, does the same thing. I walked by that kid every track meet, told him good job, and this is what I got. That was it. No emotion, he's like a serial killer. Okay, he just goes to do his job, he doesn't show any emotion or anything. Fast forward to, we start playing spring football. Anytime the ball touched his hands in spring football as a freshman, he ended up in the end zone. Carries into the football season in 2 days. He comes out, he goes into the first scrimmage against Palmview, and said, let's give him a pop sweep, see what he does. 90 yards later, he has a touchdown. Throw him a fade, boom. 70 yards later, he has a touchdown. So this kid can play. Well, what we didn't know was all the other things that he could bring to the table. He's not going to bring a lot of bones, which we just covered. But he probably is the single reason that Gabriel was first team all-district on kick returns, because they had to figure which one they wanted to kick to. Either one had a chance to take it to the house. This individual was a sophomore for this football team. He was also on the punt team that Coach Buff talked about. He was one of the kills that would go down. By 3 games into the season, they started double teaming him because he was the first guy down on the field. He leads by example. He will be, once again, talk about the kid's shirts. He had my favorite shirt I've ever seen. I like to get on the Chive website, says keep calm and chive on. He had the coolest one that said, just keep calm and throw the ball to Mondo. Your Hustle Award winner is Mondo Madrona, sophomore.
Okay, we have 3 awards left, and Dave Evans has been my right hand since day one, and I truly love him to death. And I've asked him if he can give all 3 of these awards. Dave Evans is going to give the awards for the most coachable, the most spirited, and the most valuable player. Let's give him a hand.
Thank you, Coach Gann. It's a great honor to be up here, and I've been with Coach Gann the last 5 years, and it's been a pleasure. And today's awards, as I give them, I want to sort of use a format that we use about an educational type thing. One thing that Coach brought was coaching to change lives. And the program is about teaching young men to become men. Every day we give a lesson. It's on responsibility, attitude, self-image, a lot of variety, about 2 other varieties of strategies that you got to develop as human beings and to be successful. And each coach is assigned those assignments, and we give out, I think, great lessons, everybody. I think everybody gets the opportunity to teach, and I think everybody gets the opportunity to learn. When coaches evaluate every year, every program, the seniors always say, keep that part of the program. That's probably the most beneficial part of being in high school athletics. Growing up, being a man. Today, there's some emotions that's going to be dealt with. Not everybody gets an award. It's not like Pee Wee football or Pee Wee baseball where they line up and they get a trophy because it's going to hurt their self-esteem. There's going to be some young men sitting out there that's got to hurt self-esteem today because we can't reward everybody. And the neat thing about today is they'll grow from that. You as parents, don't make excuses for them. This is a subjective vote. You can see your son is the most valuable, and in your home he is. Nobody can take that away from you. And sometimes some of these awards can be questioned by coaching staff, questioned by the own players. But you got to make decisions in life, and you got to live with the results, whether good or bad. So as I award these awards today, I'm going to do it sort of like how we teach lessons, and you'll maybe get a kick out of it. The first one is coachable. It says coachable, more coachable, most coachable, capable of being easily taught and trained to do something better. The word coachable defined that which can be transferred by a coach. It is also defined someone who is committed to their own development and in hunger for feedback from others about improving themselves. And it is an act of being introduced, directed, or prompted by a coach. This player was unselfish, disciplined, and always in practice with a willingness to learn and improve as a player and a person. The most coachable player is a young man that would be welcome in my family or your family, and I would treat as a son. He's just a do-right kind of guy. The most coachable player this year, Pedro Coronado. And Pedro and his family are dealing with adversity as we speak. The next one is Spirit Desire. And it's spirited, spirited, full of characteristics by animation, vigor, or courage. A spirited debate. Having a specific mood or nature, used in combination, high-spirited, willing to face danger. Game, gritty, meddlesome, spunky, gamey, brave, courageous, possessing these, displaying courage, is able to face the deal and danger of fear without flinching. A frank, courageous heart triumphs over pain, by William Wordsworth. That's a quote, gentlemen. Familiar with danger makes a brave man a braver and more daring individual. Quote by Herman Melville. Set a courageous example by leading them stealthily into safety in the destruction of enemies held by enemy territory. This player has always demonstrated a positive, upbeat personality and the drive and desire to be really good. He encourages his teammates and he leads by example. This player is somebody that's hard to get down. He stays up when times are tough, and we did face tough times this year. This award goes to Chris Padilla.
Congratulations, son. I'm proud of you. I love you. Take care of yourself, okay? Good luck next year.
That leads to the MVP. I also want to, there's change that's taking place in the 7A program, and I want to commend Coach Gant for being here. His last day's tomorrow. He's showing great character, being here, probably being judged when most people would be too feared and scared to come out amongst people that probably didn't feel real good about him. And I'm not saying you, but as a community. I've been really, really impressed that Coach Gant chose to do this banquet for you football players, because frankly, most people would say, hey, I'm done tomorrow, let somebody else do it. So give Coach Gant a hand. Thank you. Okay, the most valuable, I think everybody understands what that is. I'll be a little quicker on my lesson. Most valuable, the player judged to be the most important to a sport. A player, a participant, a person who participates is skilled in some game. In sports, the most valuable player award is an honor typically bestowed upon the best performing player or players on a specific team, in an entire league, or for a particular contest or series of contests. Initially used in professional sports, the term is now also common with amateur sports, is what we are, as well as in other competitive fields such as business and band, music, and so forth. What is a valuable player? Well, this valuable player will be he has the largest impact on his team, on and off the field in a positive way. Remember, we are student athletes. Winning this award should encompass dedication to the team, putting the teammates and coaches first, maximizing effort as a player's position, and contributing to the team's being victorious. This young man has demonstrated all these examples mentioned and was the clear choice for this year's MVP. Our MVP, Nate Morales.
Okay, now I'd like to introduce the new quarterback club president, Alma Gonzalez, and she's going to introduce the officers. Alma, if you will come up, please.
The 2014-15 Vice President is Ana Serna. Secretary, Rosalia Yan. Our treasurer is Estela Castillo. Our parliamentarian, Lulu Robinson. At this time, we'd like to recognize some young men that throughout the year, or during the fall during football season, whether it was Coach Gann, Coach Evans, or any of the other coaches, they would ask for volunteers if anybody wanted to volunteer to do anything, as far as helping with hurdles or putting up the helmet during football games. There was a barbecue fundraiser that we did on the 18th for one of their fellow players, and 12 of these students have always helped and gone out of their way to help either on a weekend or in the evenings. So as I call the following names, if you can please come up and on behalf of the quarterback club, we have a little something for you. John Benmares. Pedro L. Coronado. Maya Escamilla. George Garcia. Randy Gonzalez Villar. Ana Villegas. Jairo Juárez. Francisco Lucio. Chris Padilla. Rolando Rodriguez. Christopher Sanchez. And Gabriel Vasquez. Thank you very much, boys, for helping us out whenever the coaches would ask you to help. At this moment, if the senior players and trainers bring their moms up here, please, and just line them up. All senior football players and trainers.
Hey, Frank. Hey, when you're done saying. Well, yeah, I tried. I tried. Hurry up. There.
When we do the pinning of the mom, of the senior mom, The pin is in appreciation to all the senior moms that support the players. Well, thank you from the bottom of their hearts. Big hug and big kiss to your mommy. Just a reminder that we still have quarterback club raffle back there. A lot of raffle tickets. At this time, we're going to have a speech from the interim superintendent that is going to be given by Henry Sanchez, the San Diego High School principal.
Thank you. These words are on behalf of Dr. Ismael Kanzu. He was not able to be here today. He is our interim superintendent, and he asked me to read it to you all today. And so it goes as follows. On behalf of the San Benito CISD Board of Trustees, administration, teachers, and staff, welcome to the 2013-2014 Quarterback Club Football Banquet. A prior commitment has led to my not being here this evening, and therefore, I ask that my remarks be read. To the football players being honored, congratulations on fulfilling the Greyhounds gridiron dream that you accomplished. To the cheerleaders, drill team, band, and NJROTC, members that have always been in support of your team and your tireless effort in pursuit of excellence, our heartfelt thanks. To the parents, guardians, and other family members present here today, thank you for your support of our school district. Also, a special thanks to the fine athletic programs offered that are built not only on developing character to the discipline required of high school athletics, but as important, revealing the character required for success in future endeavors. Last Friday, I was informed of this event planned by the Quarterback Club honoring football athletes. Once I received this information, I began thinking what I would like to have heard when I was a high school student. I sat wondering what my life's purpose was and how all this high school experience would help me in achieving my dream. In my lifetime, I have experienced many historical events that led to great leaders stepping up to the plate and taking this great nation of ours forward. The words of John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, and many others, all those spoken many years ago, were words that to this day impact me daily. These leaders spoke of the American dream and that obstacles in achieving these dreams must be overcome. In life, these dreams, whether it's in the football field, the basketball court, the baseball field, or to be the best cheerleader, drill team, or band, are all predicated with the will to succeed. Vince Lombardi, one of the best professional football coaches, was once quoted as saying, "The difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, not a lack of knowledge, but rather a lack of will." Where there is no will to succeed, there will be failure. Those of us that follow football passionately will never forget the great football games that we saw this football season. At the beginning of this season, who would have thought that the Seattle Seahawks would be headed to the Super Bowl in 2014? Who would have thought that Auburn would have been ranked in the top 10 BCS ranking and at the very end of the season beat #1 Alabama, when every single pointed to an Alabama victory? Auburn, with second step in the game, did the impossible because they had the will to win. The will was in the eyes of the coach, in the eyes of the players, and in the eyes of every Auburn fan sitting in that stadium, and could be felt throughout the game. The last second punt return exemplified that the will to win should mean to all of the players that are here tonight. You may ask, what does this all mean to San Diego High School football? My response to you would be that when there is a strong will to win built in an individual, perseverance sets in. Perseverance is that inner drive that must be built on all of you, that regardless of whether sometimes you may be losing a game at halftime, you do not give up, but you must concentrate, refocus, learn not only from your mistakes in the first half, but study your opponent's weaknesses and come out with the will to win in the second half. Life also has its quarters and halves, and the lessons learned in the field you will take as lessons that will build character in you. You will also learn that the opposing team also has the will to win as well. But what really matters is the will to prepare and to discipline yourselves to win. In professional football, most teams on any given Sunday have the talent to win the game, and that is why we see so many games end with incredible drama at the end. What separates the Seattle Seahawks from the teams that are not in the Super Bowl is the mental and physical preparation that is intertwined with the will to win. Winners are not afraid to invest long hours, days, and years in pursuit of excellence, of perfection and excellence in their given assignment, knowing that they are part of a team and that standing alone does not make the team. In football, it is not about I, it is about teamwork. Someone once said that in the word team, you do not find the letter I, and this is true. As you move forward, set your goals and never take your eyes away from that goalpost, because in life, as in football, you will not go far unless you know where the goalposts are. If you know what you want to win if you know that you want to win in that football game or that district title, and know in your heart that you are a winner, then the journey now begins, and you must never stop trying until perfection is achieved. You must strategically decide how you will achieve that goal and create the vision to achieve the goal and adjust the plan when necessary. But stay with the plan, which will be your ultimate objective in life. In closing, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to the San Benito Quarterback Club for not only organizing this event, but for leading the great Greyhound spirit that San Benito football is known for throughout the valley. The fans that support this football team and all the playing events are second to none, and our gratitude goes out to each and every one of them. Also in closing, I would like to leave the football team with a short story that was reported this week on national TV. A student was diagnosed with cancer, and while in treatment, he became close friends with a cancer patient his age as well. They became best friends. Unfortunately, his friend died. However, this young man was able to not only be cured of the cancer, but was able to join the basketball team. In one game, the coach allowed all of his players to dedicate the game to someone that had impacted their lives. Student wrote names of parents, grandparents, etc. However, this young man wrote the name of his friend who had died of cancer. The basketball game went on to the very end as a very close game. With a few seconds left in the game, his team was trailing by 2 points, and the coach called for a 3-point shot by his best shooter. The shot was attempted and missed. The ball, bounced right into the young man's hands almost at midcourt, and he took the shot right from the buzzer and won the game. Tony Dorsett from the Dallas Cowboys once said, "To succeed, you need to find something to hold on to, something to motivate you, and something to inspire you." The friend that died gave this young man something to hold on, something to motivate him, and something to inspire him. My challenge to you is to find that something that will inspire you, that will lead you to future successes, not only in the football field, but in all endeavors. Know that when life gets more than what you can stand, kneel down and put it in God's hands, knowing that you have given it your best and that God will do the rest. God be with each and every one of you as you move forward with life. Dr. Ismael Cantu, Interim Superintendent at San Benito CISD. Thank you.
Our guide to victory, united we shall stand, and help in all shall the